Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Matthew here at Project D15 on Ground Zero at Hogar, Manasseh. And I have with me Pastor Lex from the Grafted Church, as well as from the podcast Unlearn The Lies. Pastor Lex, we've had 2 trips now, maybe even more over the last 2 years with people from your congregation at the Grafted Church. And finally, this amazing weekend, have been able to get you yourself here with us to see what we're doing. Been to church now multiple times as God is opening doors for us to bring Torah to Central America, and would just love to hear from you your thoughts, having heard everything from the people who have come and gone, but now seeing it yourself, kind of what's going through your head, what's on your heart, what are your thoughts?
And it's hard to even put it into words. It's been just a really amazing weekend, and you know, we've sent, like you said, we've sent people here over the last couple of years, and I've heard great things from them coming back, and they've all been excited about what's happened and the ways that they've been able to help and participate, and the ways that they've ministered and been ministered to, and things they've learned, and just being able to be here and get their hands involved in it has been really encouraging and exciting. But coming here myself has been, you know, it's just magnified, and it's even more exciting and more like, you know, in the past I was very supportive and was, you know, very much wanting to support this ministry and do what, you know, any way we could help. But actually being here now, you know, it's like it's just fueled the fire. You know, it's just added fuel to the fire, and I'm even more excited about what you guys are doing. And I would love to send people here every month if I could. You know, it's just so cool. I think it'd be an amazing ministry for us to be involved in as much as possible. Obviously, I don't think we can afford to send people here every month, but as often as we're able to, I want to. Yes. I would love to send people here on a regular basis, at least once or twice a year. I want to send people here in large groups of people to be involved and to help out any way we can. And that's one of the things I love about this ministry, is we can actually come and participate and be a part of what you guys are doing. And, you know, the Bible talks about helping the widows and helping the orphans and helping the poor. And you guys have all that here. And there's ways that we can actually get involved and do ministry, and not just send money, but actually come and serve and minister. And that's what's really exciting for me about this.
I love that. You know, you've had the rare opportunity that you've come to not only see the country and meet some of the culture and eat the food, but specifically meet children who the Lord has given us responsibility and authority over, from some of the most just crazy and awful stories and backgrounds and experiences, but you've seen them now on the other side of that. And I'd love to hear just your interactions with the kids and getting to experience and meet them and everything else.
Yeah.
What has that done to you, if you will, emotionally and in your headspace? Yeah,
the kids here are so wonderful, and they're just, and you know, it's amazing when you hear about what they've been through, and being slaves in rice fields, and being trafficked, and being raised in drug homes, and being thrown out on the street, and being orphaned, and all these different things that these different stories. Each kid has their own story, and then seeing them now, it's like, wow, you know, they have such an amazing testimony of what God has taken them through, and they're so sweet, and just really wonderful kids, and I've loved getting to meet all of them, and they just, you know, they just want to come up and give you a hug and tell you they love you, and they're just really sweet kids. And just watching them play with each other, you know, they play and they don't fight, and they don't pick on each other, they don't bully each other around, they treat each other good. It's like a family. Right. And, you know, and meeting, you know, meeting the people here, and the ones who serve and work and are employed here and live with the kids on a daily basis, they're like the parents to the kids, and they kind of brought them in and make them like their own. And that's amazing to see too, where, you know, so many times with orphanages and things like that, is they, you know, the people in charge don't care about the kids. They just, you know, they feed them and they lock them in the room, you know, and they just kind of do the minimum requirement to take care of them. And that's kind of like the horror stories you see all the time about like these orphanages where the kids are mistreated and they just want to escape and go someplace else.
Right.
That's not the way it is here. The kids here love it, and they love the people here, and they are they're learning about the Lord, and they're full of joy, and you could just see it on their faces. They just you walk in and you see them, they're just excited, and they're happy, and they're joyful, and you can tell they love the Lord, and it's just really exciting.
Come on. All right, well, let me ask you this, and this is a quick and an easy one, but I gotta know, and I haven't asked you yet, because you've gotten to try a lot of new things, but what has been your favorite thing you've put in your mouth so far in Honduras? A Honduran delicacy.
Oh man, my favorite thing.
What are you gonna remember when you go back?
Well, I'm gonna remember barrielas because I keep calling them burritos. But Yafet says that they're not burritos, they're different.
Baleadas, that's right.
Barrielas. Is that right?
That's right.
But I like teasing him because it kind of gets him worked up when I call it a burrito. But everything I've eaten here has been so good. And it's all very unique and very different. And so I've enjoyed all the food here. So thank you guys for hosting and for treating me to such wonderful food.
Absolutely.
So it's been great.
Well, and I love everything's just so fresh, and that's amazing, especially coming back from the States.
Yeah.
It's everything's on the table.
The tortillas here are very different than tortillas in America.
Yes, next level.
Much better.
Yes, yes. Well,
even homemade tortillas in America don't compare to the tortillas here.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. Well, what would you say to Christians in general, and just encouraging them on why, as someone of faith, someone following Jesus, would want to come? Why go? Whether it's with us or with anyone, why get outside the confines of your own home and go out?
Because we're called to. It's, Yeshua talked about to his disciples, he said, go into all the nations and preach the gospel and make disciples and baptize them. And we're told in the Bible that the true religion is caring for orphans and widows, and that's what we're called to do. And so if we're not actually doing it, then what's the point? Like if all we're doing is going to church and filling a pew, you're missing the whole point. Right. Because being a Christian is not about sitting in a church service. And it's not about singing songs one day a week. It's about actually getting involved and serving and helping and doing ministry. And that's a calling to all of God's people, all disciples, not just missionaries, not just pastors, not just evangelists, but if you call yourself a Christian, if you call yourself a follower of Jesus, it is your calling to go and to minister. And this is a great opportunity to do it because the people here, they are looking for that. They're longing for that. And it's just a great opportunity to serve and to really make a difference. You can serve in your own backyard, wherever you live. If you live in Oklahoma, you can serve there. If you live in New York, you can serve there. But so many times they're not open to it. They're not, they just slam doors in your face and say, go away. Here, they're open to it and they want to hear. They want the gospel. They want to know more about Yeshua. Yes. And you have such an amazing opportunity to minister to people and to love on people, and especially orphans and widows and poor, because there's so many opportunities to minister to people like that here. And so I think it's just a great opportunity to serve and to do what God has called us to do. And it's transformative to us as well. And so when you come, if you're from America and you're used to living in a country where the poorest people still have decent food and a decent place to stay, you come here and you realize that the richest people have a hard time in a country like this. And it's just very different, and it really changes your perspective on everything. When you're used to plumbing that you can just drink anywhere and not worry about it, and you come here and you realize that plumbing is not always safe, and you have to have special precautions on how you drink the water. It changes your perspective on things. And it's like in America, our toilet water is probably cleaner than the tap water here, you know, so like, you know, it's very different perspective.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think it'd be great for everybody to come and just to be a part of a different culture.
Yeah.
And to look at the world a different way. It's just a really great learning opportunity for anybody.
Yes. Oh. Well, I just want to first and foremost say thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. We're honored.
Yeah,
We're privileged.
Thank you for inviting me. I've been wanting to come for a long time, and you know, you asked me to come, and I was like, oh, I'd love to come, and I'm glad it all worked out that I was able to this time.
Yes.
So
well, I know it was
in the past.
I know it was last minute.
Yeah.
But for God just told me. He says you should invite Lex. This is a moment, and this was a time I was going to be by myself, and so having you here was also just almost fulfillment of what you have been spiritually for us as our backbone, as a foundation, as a congregation and an assembly that's praying, that's been interceding for us, and that's just been loving my wife and I, our family, and our entire team as we've just been trying to be obedient, and so we're so grateful.
Well, and I'm so glad that we have been a part of helping develop this ministry. Like, you know, when you guys first got started, we had people from our church that were part of that, and it's just really exciting. And so to be part of building this and growing this, and I look forward to more opportunities in the future to help grow it more and build it more and be more involved. And it's just really a cool opportunity.
No.
And so I'm so thankful that God has connected us.
Yes.
And brought us together and helped us to be able to be part of this ministry. And it's just, it's really cool.
Amen. Well, he's only begun. He's so much more instead for both what we're doing here, and I know what he's doing within your ministry and the organization, in your church. God's doing big things for such a time as this.
Yeah. Amen.
Amen.